Welcome back to Brian's Action Figure Reviews, and today we're going to have a discussion topic for Tuesday. Let's call it Topic Tuesday. In the past, these have done quite well. They've garnered a lot of response. Um, Sorry, there was a hair sticking out of my cap for some reason. But in the past, I've done ones about Avengers. I've done ones about countless other things. So today's topic of discussion. Now, for these to work, I need comments in below the video, because I'm just going to spout out a lot of stuff. You respond to it. So today I'm going to talk about live action Spider-Man. Which one is the best one? Now, I'm going to discount, what's the name of it? Spider-Verse and the animated series Spider-Mans and the old 70s shows, because I haven't seen them enough to judge. So there's been three main Spider-Men in the last 20 years across Sony, across the MCU, and what have you. There was Tom Holland, who we have now. There was Andrew Garfield, the Amazing Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire, who we had in the Sam Raimi trilogy. So I'm just going to run through my own take on those three, and I'm going to start off with Tobey Maguire. Now, these are my own opinions. Feel free to disagree with me. I actually think Tobey Maguire was probably the weakest for me of the three. Granted, in the first Spider-Man where he went against the Green Goblin, William Dafoe's Green Goblin, he was really good as Peter Parker before he got bitten and what have you. He was a very whiny Peter Parker, I found, as well. He was good in the sense that he was nerdy, but I think he went too far nerdy, if you get me. He carried that into Spider-Man, whereas if you look at Andrew Garfield was the mopey Peter Parker as well, the emo skateboard guy, which is not what Peter Parker is about at all. But his take as Spider-Man, especially that scene where, if you've seen it in The Amazing Spider-Man 1, where a carjacker attempts to rob a taxi and Andrew Garfield sits in the back and takes the complete another piss out of him as Spider-Man. And that to me was, and even in the New York accent as well, which is another bonus, that to me was perfect Spider-Man. But Tobey Maguire, I know this is going to sound bad, but his face just annoys me. I haven't really liked him in any other film he's done either. There was that film, I think it was called Brothers or something, where he came back from the army and he was like this creepy guy seeing his army friend's wife or something. He was good in that, but other than that, I don't know, I just can't take to him. It was much like around the same time Fox's X-Men came out, and a lot of them just didn't seem right for the time. And it's taken until Kevin Feige took over the MCU to get Spider-Man dead on nailed right. We still remain to see what happens with the X-Men. Hopefully he can do that justice as well when they finally get around to it. So yeah, like the second, Spider-Man 2, where he was placed next to Doc Ock, that was probably the highlight of Tobey Maguire for me. He's the best. That's the best he got, I think. But then you had Spider-Man 3 and the absolute mess they made of the symbiote suit and having him emo dancing, and it's just a meme now. I hope I never have to see Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man again, which I won't, obviously. But I thought he was probably the poorest of the three. Andrew Garfield, who I briefly touched on a minute ago, I think is a much better actor, as well as a better Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire. I've seen him in countless other things where he's actually been really good. What highlight of him, he really seems to get the character, the superhero character Spider-Man, even showing up at Comic-Con dressed up as Spider-Man, which was really nice, really cool. He played Spider-Man perfectly, I thought, across both movies. He was unfortunately stuck in two poor movies, especially the second one with Jamie Foxx, when it went full on campy again, and it just didn't work. But I think he's seen at the end of that with Emma Stone, where Gwen Stacy, spoilers, falls to her death, was really emotional, and it was. Now look, I have that. If you can see it, I have that scene up behind me on my wall. It's one of the most iconic scenes in Spider-Man history, and I really think they did that justice. But still, I think if Sony hadn't have sold off or did the deal with Marvel to get Spider-Man, he would have probably had another 2 or 3 Spider-Man films, and I think he would have grown into the role more. So I think he was kind of short-changed or shafted in that respect, but still, I was glad. Well, no, I was unsure when the MCU took over Spider-Man until Tom Holland showed up. And Tom Holland, for me, has just everything. Everything right about Spider-Man. He's got the smartness, and he's got one thing that both of the previous two never got right, is that Spider-Man is a child. He's a 15, 16-year-old kid. That scene where he's trapped under the rubble in Spider-Man Homecoming is like, it wrenched my heart when I saw it first, because I felt like saying, oh, the poor misfortune. He's only a kid. Why would you do that to a child? And it really, and the scene with Michael Keaton in the car as well, you could really picture yourself in that situation. You know, when you meet a girl and you meet their dad for the first time, and he's an absolute scary person. But in Peter's eyes, he's also the guy who's flying around in the big vulture suit that you're trying to stop. So I think Tom Holland's acting has been superb as Peter Parker and as Spider-Man. Again, the scene in Infinity War when he disappears in Tony's arms killed me. The only thing I would say about Tom Holland's Spider-Man is they need to get him the fuck away from Iron Man. Iron Man Jr., I've seen the meme going around, and it's sort of true, and that's down to Kevin Feige and the writers, I think. Far From Home was a bit better, but it was again Mysterio, who was awesome in that film, was still an ex-Stark employee, and the film was all about Peter Parker stepping out of Tony's shoes, stepping out of Tony's shadow, that should be, stepping out of his glasses even. But yeah, so for me, I'd rank them Tom Holland number 1, Andrew Garfield number 2, and Tobey Maguire number 3. So tell me what you think of this. Who do you think is your best Spider-Man? Who else? Actually, another one. If another Spider-Man was cast in the morning, who would you cast? I haven't a clue, because I think Tom Holland's doing such a good job. They should keep him as long as they can, because his star is only on the rise, and he's going to be a massive star in a couple of years, I think, if he isn't already. So, yeah, like, share, drop a comment below, argue with me, tell me I'm wrong, and don't forget to please subscribe. Much love. Thank you very much. Bye.